Yo, what is up, everybody? Yo, can I ever start a video without sounding like an idiot? All right, but basically, today's just I was gonna make a video about for Fortnite, should you run PC on console versus just a console? Now, from my experience, I've only ever ran it on PS4 once, and I'm assuming it's the same experience that you would get on an Xbox, of course. But PC. Yeah, I run PC mainly. All my recent clips are from Xbox because I finally figured out my internet to the point where it's playable on Xbox. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. So if you're on PC, you're obviously gonna be at a disadvantage when you're on controller because first of all, you're in harder lobbies that you can't do anything about. You're in keyboard and mouse lobbies. You're with some pros, all these TTV players and everything, and you just can't do anything about it. I mean, you're literally one of the only players in your lobby that are going to be on controller, I'm assuming, and you're going to be at a major disadvantage. You're going to learn quickly that it is not easy and not fun unless you're insanely good on controller. But there are some upsides to it. There's better frames, of course. I mean, I run my game at 120 frames per second when I'm not streaming. When I am, it's 60, just so that it's not too hard on my PC, so that my stream isn't too laggy. And speaking of lag, there's usually less lag because if you're on a PC, like a desktop PC, then you're 99% of the time going to be hardwired through an Ethernet cable to your router, so you're going to have way better Wi-Fi. I've got my ping as low as 1 or 2, and the highest that it's gone when it's normal and it's not being overused by everyone else and not streaming and all is 30. That's the highest that ever goes. You're gonna have much smoother gameplay though, on PC. If you've ever noticed that although the stream is worse because it's I stream on PC and I take the clips from there to make montages, but it's kind of blurry because my PC can't handle doing really high quality streams. So if you really look at it, Xbox or PS4, if you don't have a super expensive PC, your game will actually look better if you record or stream on it. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have much smoother gameplay. If you've ever seen my montages with Xbox and PC, you're gonna notice that my PC clips are way smoother, way probably nicer, all that. But I've also noticed that there's way less input lag on PC, but that's only from my experience. I don't know what it's like for other players. Now the problem with a PC is that it's really more expensive, and that's where a lot of players won't switch to PC because it's not easy. My PC is around $700 plus the upgrades that I added to it, which was just a graphics card. Nothing really special there, but the graphics card was terrible when I first got it, so I had to improve it in order to stream properly, in order to do everything like that. So the price of my PC is around $800 now. And another thing that holds console players back is that it's way more expensive. I mean, if you look at an Xbox, you can get an Xbox One S for $200 now. I'm pretty sure PS4 Slims are the same. But yeah, you can get a Xbox One S for $200 now. It'll even include a game. My Xbox that I got came with the Fortnite bundle. It came with the Eon skin and everything. And it's just it's way it's more complicated to a beginner. If you're a console player, you probably don't know much about a graphics card, RAM, GPU, CPU, motherboard. Even though the graphics card is a GPU, I'm retarded, but there's multiple things. The processor, most console players don't know this. If you asked me a year ago what any of this was, I would be completely lost. But there is much more media. I mean, you could use a PC for practically everything, not just games. You can edit videos on them if you're a YouTuber like me. You can stream much more professionally if you're doing Twitch stream or YouTube stream like I do, and you could just have a much better experience once you learn how to use the PC and everything. And you definitely get what you paid for. I mean, it costs a lot, but you get a lot. Like, and the problem is when it comes to console lobbies, you're kind of stuck at 60 frames per second. Like I said before, you could run it much higher. You can run it all the way up to 300 if you really wanted to, but that's like the high-end PCs that are in the multi like thousands and everything. But on a console, you're stuck at 60 frames per second, which isn't a big deal because I haven't noticed much of a difference between 120 and 60. Maybe it feels a bit smoother. Maybe you can run the game faster, but I've only got a 60 hertz monitor, so the refresh rate isn't that much. But yeah, so what I've also noticed from console versus like PC is that I've had a couple of lag spikes every now and then. I don't know if this is just a problem with Xbox. I don't know if it's a PS4 problem as well. It could just be my internet, but my internet seems to be pretty good. I mean, I literally stream off of it, but I do have a different internet at the house that I play my Xbox at, but that's just what, from my experience, I've had lag spikes and everything, and my ping has gotten as high as like 2000, which is just insane. It's unplayable at that point. Now this is kind of a different one, but I decided to include it. It's sort of limited to the controller that the platform is made for, and what I mean by that is that you can't use a PS4 controller on an Xbox, whereas on PC I could just unplug my Xbox controller right now and plug in a PS4 controller, and we're golden. And like they also have different controllers made by different companies. Like Razer, they have like their own like pro like controller that's I know some people use for certain games, and like there's just all these third-party companies that aren't Sony or Microsoft that you can just use on your PC. But when it comes to console, you're kind of limited to, I guess you could use like a SCUF controller, but but I think the biggest the biggest difference between the two that people always complain about, this is when it comes to Fortnite, is the console lobbies versus the PC lobbies. As I said in the beginning, that PC lobbies are much harder and that it just sucks, but console lobbies they're way easier. I can drop 20 bombs all day on console lobbies. The skill gap is definitely there. Some people claim that they're just as good as PC players, and the problem is you can't really move like a PC player can. I mean, they can just, it's incredible some of the things the PC players can do, as well as the fact that you're stuck to 2 thumbsticks rather than using your entire arm to move your mouse. But that's just the way it is. You're also limited to like the certain games and apps. For example, I know this isn't really a problem on like main consoles, but I know for like things like Nintendo Switch and stuff, like this isn't really Fortnite related, but you've only got like YouTube and like Netflix. Like you really don't have anything else, because I don't know why. You don't have Twitch, you don't have anything else like that. I know that YouTube on console and Twitch on console is way harder to navigate though, from my experience at least, like compared to PC. PC, you just go to the website, done. On console, everything's just kind of laid out weird and everything like that. But the moral of the story is, it's really up to you if you would want to go to controller on PC, versus just using a console. This is for Fortnite, really. Like, you're gonna get more benefit in the long run from PC, considering that it'll actually be cheaper over the years, because upgrading a PC, like, your PC's gonna get old after a while. And that's not saying that like it's gonna slow down. It's just that games are getting better literally by the day, so your computer's gonna require more to play it. My computer 5 years ago, what I have now would probably be double the price. So like it's really growing rapidly, like the amount of things that the amount of like components that are in a PC, and like the amount of things that are changing literally by the day, and new things that everybody's adding. 8 gigs of RAM a couple years ago was a lot. Now 16 is like the usual. I've only got 8, so I'm already at a disadvantage compared to other like PC I guess like just compared to anybody on PC, because a lot of people have 16. At least me personally. I know the 8 is like a standard though when it comes to games. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say, because I've played on both. I play on both regularly. I play on PC and I play on Xbox regularly. Same controller, same everything, but that's really it. I mean, there's nothing too special or different about it. Obviously, PC is the way to go if you're trying to be a YouTuber, streamer, anything like that, but you know, like I said, if it were up to me, I would just say that everybody should get a PC. But, you know, it's not too bad staying with controller. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.